So another week down and another round of sales for you, with some huge savings to be had on an awesome selection of games this week, all of which are sporting at least 50% off the asking price. I will of course be announcing the winner of last week's $10 gift card in this video later on, and once again I'll be giving away another $10 gift card, so stay tuned to find out how you can win that one. Without further ado though, drop a like and subscribe for more deals and Nintendo Switch content, and let's get into it. So first up this week then, we have the awesome Guacamelee 2, whose complete edition comes bundled together with both DLC packs. This one though is an action-adventure game with Metroidvania style gameplay set in a Mexican-inspired world, and once again following the story of Juan Aquacat, a Mexican wrestler on a mission to save the Mexiverse from an evil force. Some fantastic platforming and combat to be had in this one though, with new abilities and power-ups unlocked as you progress through the game, all themed around wrestling, new polo powers which have Juan transforming into a chicken, and high-octane boss fights to engage in. Like the first game's Super Turbo Champion Edition, this one features 4-player drop-in drop-out multiplayer, some fantastic visuals and plenty of humour to its storyline, though it does come with a reasonable level of difficulty, so prepare yourself for a little bit of rage. Next up then we have Disgaea 4 Complete Plus, an enhanced version of the original Disgaea 4 A Promise Forgotten, featuring additional content and improved gameplay features. And I have to admit, I myself have never played a Disgaea game, but from what I'm hearing this entry is one of the best in the series. His story follows the journey of Valvatores and his mission to overthrow the corrupt government of the Netherworld and bring equality to all demons, and despite the serious undertones, it's packed with humour and a colourful cast of characters. The gameplay revolves around turn-based battles on isometric grid-based maps, with players assembling a team of characters and strategically placing them to defeat enemies, and there are over 20 different characters in the games, each with their own abilities. But this complete edition comes with all previous DLC, adding a bunch of extra story campaigns and extending its already lengthy gameplay time by a considerable margin. So Mighty Gunvolt Burst is our next title, and this one is a crossover between the Mighty No. 9 and the Azure Striker Gunvolt series, with run and gun action platforming inspired by classic retro games, but with some modern touches to improve accessibility and expand on the established formulas. Playing as either Beck or Gunvolt from the 2 series, or Ikoro from the Gungal series, players are able to tackle its 8 levels and their associated bosses in any order, and gameplay is focused around a combo system which promotes taking down enemies at close range, which is a little bit arbitrary to be honest, but allows you to rack up those big high scores. But it's the customization options which really stand out with this one, as you're able to mix and match over 20 different blaster configurations, giving you plenty of options when it comes to playstyles. Being a retro style platformer, you can of course expect a reasonable level of challenge with this one, but it's considerably easier than its influencers, and all round it's a great little throwback to yesteryear. Now when it comes to Metroidvanias, many would argue that Axiom Verge stands out as one of the best entries in the genre since Castlevania Symphony of the Night. But the Axiom Verge 1 and 2 bundle includes both the first game and its sequel, both of which are looking to cater to classic Metroid fans, though offering very different gameplay experiences. The first game in my opinion is far superior, featuring some phenomenal visuals, awesomely challenging boss fights, and an incredible selection of weapons and abilities, including the super unique Glitch Gun, which allows you to glitch out the enemies and environments, but it's your classic back and forth exploration affair with some solid platforming and combat. The second game kind of dropped the ball a little, opting instead to focus on melee weaponry, which I found to be kind of limited and made for some rather frustrating gameplay. But both games offer a decent narrative, offer solid Metroidvania experiences in their own right, and are well worth picking up. Our next game, Roundguard, is a game which I've sung the praise of previously and will continue to do so, as in my opinion it's a real hidden gem of a game, especially for fans of the Peggle series and roguelikes in general. Like Peggle though, the gameplay in this one takes influence from Japanese pachinko machines, but with an RPG and roguelike twist to it, having you fire off your character into a peg-filled board for it to then bounce around and defeat enemies, and the game comes with several different classes, each with their own unique abilities. The roguelike mechanics see each run randomised as you work your way through its dungeon, collecting items and trinkets and levelling up your character in the hopes of finally defeating the boss at the end of the dungeon. But there's some great variety to the enemies and bosses in this one, and plenty of replayability to be had for such a super low asking price. Now if you're looking for a pick up and play high score chaser this week, then you might want to consider checking out #Funtime, an explosive twin stick shooter whose neon infused visuals are not just for show, and actually play an important role in gameplay, with you switching between colours to match your enemies, increase your damage output and colouring the arena floor to create damaging zones. It's an interesting new twist on classics such as Geometry Wars and Super Stardust, and one that's easy to learn but hard to master. The game comes with 50 different levels and 8 distinct battle modes, each with their own leaderboards for you to compete in, and some awesome electro tunes to blast along to. Unfortunately though, there's no support for colourblind players with this one, which is a glaring omission to say the least, and it is single player only. But if you're looking for a game to play on the go, then it's well worth considering. So the winner of the $10 gift card this week then goes to Andrew Valentine, who commented recommending Sparklight for its excellent presentation and compelling gameplay loop. And this is another one that I've yet to find the time to play, but it does look like an awesome Zelda-like with some great visuals and roguelike elements. To claim your prize though, Andrew, drop an email to the address on the channel's about page or jump onto the Discord server shown on screen now. And as I said, I'm going to be giving another $10 gift card away this week, and to enter all you have to do is subscribe to the channel and drop a comment down below with the latest deals that you picked up this week. The winner will once again then be announced in next week's video. When it comes to roguelike dungeon crawlers then, Darkest Dungeon is a game which needs very little introduction. A hardcore turn-based roguelike with RPG elements set in a gothic world filled with unimaginable horrors and Lovecraftian-inspired monstrosities. This one though sees you composing teams of 4 heroes from a variety of different classes, each with their own unique abilities and combat styles, and then delving into randomly generated dungeons, with its strategical turn-based combat focused around tactical party positioning and skill synergies. But the game's enemies and bosses are no cakewalk, requiring some solid coordination and tactics to defeat, and these escapades will take the toll on your party members, not only physically but also psychologically, leading to both positive and negative quirks and afflictions which can really impact on their effectiveness. It's an incredibly challenging game to say the least, as you'll fail and fail again on your quest to defeat the Darkest Dungeon, but offers a deep and rewarding gameplay experience with a huge amount of replayability. And the Ancestral edition comes with both the base game and all 3 DLC packages, so a huge amount of content on offer for the price of this one. So our next game then is one for all you fans of old school dogfighter games, and given the slim pickings for the genre on the Switch, it's undoubtedly one of the best flight sim experiences on the platform. But Sky Rogue is a roguelike combat flight simulator whose main campaign mode is set across 12 randomly generated missions, each featuring unique island layouts and an enemy lineup which ranges from fighters, interceptors and bombers to enormous aircraft carriers and dreadnoughts. The control schemes are solid in this one, giving you the option of an easy to pick up arcade setup or a more advanced layout allowing for more precise movements. But the objective in each mission is to destroy the allocated targets, survive increasingly difficult enemy formations, and use your cash and experience to unlock new planes, weapons and sub-weapons, and improve your plane between levels. The game can also be played in 2-player co-op mode, and all in all is a fantastic combat flight sim and well worth checking out. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt is our penultimate title today, another game which requires no introduction whatsoever, and one of the best Switch ports today. But if somehow you've never heard of this one, The Witcher 3 is an open world action role-playing game set in a dark fantasy world following the adventures of monster hunter Geralt of Rivia and his quest to find his adopted daughter Ciri and fend off the pursuing supernatural army of the Wild Hunt. The world of Witcher 3 is vast and stunning though, with diverse regions to explore, countless side quests to embark on having you slay all manner of nasty beasties, and a deep and engaging plotline with a memorable cast of characters. The combat system is also a real standout in this one, focused around strategical movement and counterattacks rather than just hacking and slashing, and the use of magical signs and potions, but there's a deep skill tree to dive into, allowing for a variety of builds and playstyles. A must play though for any RPG fan, and the complete edition comes bundled with all the additional DLC content, making for tens of hours worth of gameplay. Rounding off today's list then, we have Superbeat Xonic, a rhythm game ported from PlayStation which puts music at the centre, foregoing any kind of storyline with an arcade-like setup, allowing players to just jam away to the beat and enjoy its wide variety of track genres. The game has everything from jazz and techno to dubstep and samba, with nearly 70 tracks to choose from, and like the classics of the genre before it, it keeps things simple. No strumming or hammer-ons, just tap or hold the appropriate buttons or use the thumbsticks to hit slide notes when the coloured bars reach the edges of the screen, and you can also use the touchscreen for this one. A simple but addictive rhythm game experience with several different difficulties on offer to step up your game with. There's also an XP system thrown in there for some accumulative progression, allowing you to unlock DJ icons which grant bonuses such as XP multipliers, health boosts and shields. But if you're looking for a solid rhythm game with an awesome selection of tracks, then Superbeat Xonic is a great option. And that just about does it for this week's roundup of deals, so will you be dropping the cash on any of them? And if not, what will you be picking up this week? Let me know down in the comments section and drop your recommendations for a chance to win that $10 gift card. But until next time, drop a like if this one helped you out, consider subscribing to the channel for more deals and Nintendo Switch content, and until next time, take care of yourselves and game on.